Celtic's assistant coach has made contact and apologised after last weekend's touchline drama. We've got the full story. Plus, massive transfer news as an £11 million bid for one of our wingers gets questioned. Leaked images of next season's kits have appeared online, and we've got updates on two major striker targets. It's been a busy 24 hours, but first, make sure you like this video and subscribe to the channel for more Celtic content. Derek McInnes has revealed that Celtic coach Mark Fotheringham reached out to apologise following last weekend's touchline issue after the 2-2 draw at Tynecastle. The Hearts boss had spoken after the game about his annoyance at the reaction from Celtic's bench when Benjamin Nygren scored, while making it clear his criticism wasn't aimed at Martin O'Neill or Sean Maloney. Those comments led to discussion in the days that followed, with focus on who McInnes meant and whether the situation would drag on. By Friday afternoon, McInnes provided clarity. He revealed that Fotheringham had called him earlier in the week to address the matter directly, removing any uncertainty over intent. That contact shifted the tone of what had briefly become a post-match talking point. The moment itself came in a tight game where the balance kept changing. Celtic scored, Hearts were put under strain, and tempers were close to the surface on both sides. Tynecastle was loud and intense, with VAR calls and late drama adding to the tension. In those conditions, every reaction is amplified, and benches draw as much attention as the action on the pitch. McInnes' explanation changes how the situation is viewed. Instead of an ongoing issue, it becomes a flash of frustration that was recognised and dealt with privately. That fits football reality, where managers can clash in the moment and clear the air soon after. The phone call reflects positively on Fotheringham. Rather than allowing the issue to linger or play out through the media, he chose to deal with it directly. In doing so, he showed he understood how his actions were taken and was prepared to own them, even without intending offence. McInnes said, "Just to clarify, I was annoyed. I've been up against loads of different dugouts over the years and loads of Celtic teams, and I was really annoyed with the reaction. It surprised me, and I thought it was out of order, so that was why I was annoyed about it. But in fairness to Mark, he's not a boy I know too well, but I know people that know him. He's a great lad, seemingly, but he phoned me Monday afternoon to apologise. He said there was no offence meant, and if there was, he said he was sorry for that. I think that says a lot about him, so we move on." Those comments bring the matter to a close. McInnes didn't walk back how he felt at the time, but he accepted the apology and moved on. That approach keeps both sides on solid footing without dragging the issue any further. From Celtic's side, the situation shows why Fotheringham is valued within the coaching staff. He has worked in environments where pressure is constant and reactions are scrutinised. Dealing with an issue straight away, instead of letting it sit, comes with that experience. Now for the main story, as reports claiming Celtic have turned down an £11 million offer for Sebastian Tunekti have spread fast, but sources say that doesn't quite match what's happened behind the scenes. Suggestions that Hamburg lodged a bid at that level and were knocked back by Celtic are said to be not quite the case. Tunekti has drawn interest from Germany. That part is fair. His displays since joining Celtic have been noticed, especially how quickly he adapted and how regularly he's featured when fit. However, the idea that Celtic have already rejected an offer of that size overstates both how advanced the interest is and what's been discussed. Celtic only signed Tunekti a few months ago. He came in with a clear purpose, bringing direct running and width at a time when the squad needed energy in wide areas. Despite his spell away at the Africa Cup of Nations and a quieter run of form that brought some criticism, he's stayed involved and has chipped in with goals in different competitions. That background matters. Celtic aren't in a position where selling Tunekti in January makes sense unless a bid forces their hand. With the squad already thin and extra games added through Europe, losing a winger midway through the season would create another issue rather than solving one. Hamburg's interest fits a broader trend. German clubs have kept an eye on Celtic players in recent windows, drawn by age profiles, physical attributes, and experience in European football. Tunekti fits that mould. He's still developing, has played in different leagues, and has shown he can handle pressure, whether in the Scottish Cup or on European nights. What the report reveals is that while Tunekti has been talked about, the figures being reported publicly don't reflect reality. There's been no clear £11 million bid rejected. That doesn't mean Celtic would ignore serious interest if it arrived, but it does mean fans should be wary of bold numbers in headlines. January windows often inflate stories, agents brief, clubs let interest be known, figures grow as reports are repeated. For Celtic, the risk is that speculation sets expectations that don't line up with how the club actually works behind the scenes. From a football point of view, Tunekti's position is simple. He's not excess to requirements, he's not pushing for a move, he's part of the group being used during a heavy run of matches. In other news, images claiming to show Celtic's 2026/27 home and away kits have begun circulating online, sparking early discussion among supporters months before any official launch. The images were shared by Footy Headlines, a platform known for tracking kit designs across Europe, but it's important to stress that these designs are leaks and haven't been confirmed by Celtic or Adidas. As good as the leaked designs look, there's a wider backdrop to how they'll be viewed. A sizable section of the Celtic support isn't expected to buy the kits, no matter how appealing the designs are. That stance is linked to the ongoing Not Another Penny campaign supported by the Celtic Collective. The campaign stems from long-held frustration with how the club has been run in recent years, touching on issues that go well beyond the shirts themselves. As with all kit leaks, there's a mix of excitement and caution. Supporters are used to seeing early concepts appear online, some of which turn out to be close to the final product, others less so. What's driven interest this time is how clearly these designs lean into Celtic's past, both in symbolism and in styling choices that many fans recognise instantly. The leaked home strip is said to mark the Lisbon Lions anniversary, with gold detailing on both the badge and sponsor. That alone will catch attention. Celtic have often returned to gold accents for milestone years, and the colour carries weight given the club's European history. In other news, reports linking Celtic with a move for Häcken midfielder Silas Anderson gathered pace earlier this week, with claims that the Hoops were out in front in the chase for the 21-year-old. The story spread quickly, fueled by the timing of the window and Celtic's clear need to add depth in midfield before the deadline. It fitted the moment. It also travelled faster than the facts. Sources in Sweden have since played down the idea that a transfer is moving towards completion, suggesting that Celtic aren't on a path that leads to a deal for Anderson in this window. Interest may exist at a basic level, but the suggestion that Celtic are closing in doesn't reflect the current reality. That distinction matters. January windows are crowded with names, and players performing well in Scandinavian leagues often find themselves linked with clubs across Europe. Anderson falls into that category. He's young, plays regularly, and has shown enough to attract attention. That alone can turn monitoring into headlines, even when clubs are still some distance from making a move. Lastly, Celtic are still only tracking Casper Ho, while Norwich City have taken firmer steps toward the Bodo/Glimt striker. The Championship side have already lodged a bid, which puts them ahead for now, but even that may fall short of convincing Ho to leave Norway before the window shuts. Bodo/Glimt's recent run in Europe has changed the shape of any deal. By reaching the Champions League knockout phase, they've altered both the sporting and financial outlook. Their season continues at the top level, which eases any need to cash in during January. For a club built on stability and long-term thinking, keeping a striker in form makes sense. Ho has been at the heart of Glimt's season. He's scored often, held the line well, and shown he can perform against strong opponents. Those displays have lifted his profile, but they've also increased Glimt's leverage. Letting their main forward go days before a Champions League knockout match would weaken the side at a point when momentum matters. Norwich's interest is concrete. A bid is on the table, and that alone separates them from Celtic's current position. That's all the latest Celtic news for today. Make sure to hit that like button, subscribe if you haven't already, and drop a comment below with your thoughts. I'll see you in the next one. Hail, hail.